Hello, I'm Carolyn from o2bstampin.com. Thank you for joining me today. I want to be able to show you how to make this cute pop-up window card. And I've got two samples. Now you can open it by using the ribbon if you want, or you can open it just like a regular card. So these were two of the samples that I used using a Bermuda Bay and Sweet Sugar Plum. Also, in making this card, I used the Helping Me Grow stamp set. I used this flower image right here, as well as the little corner image, which I thought was really cute. And as well, I used some of the sentiments in this stamp set. But one of the most fun things that I used was our new Layering Squares framelets. So I just want to show you everything that you get in these framelets. Let me set this aside for the moment. So look at all of these. Now there's some of these are missing because we're actually using them on the card today. So they are these three layers, the Sweet Sugar Plum, the black, and the Whisper White. So those three are missing from here. Actually, there's another one missing too that I was using in another card. So altogether you get 20 of these dies. And what I really like about them, or actually no, I may take that back, 19. What I actually like about them is the way that they layer. They have a nice narrow border, which I really, really like. And so let's start to make this card so I can show you how easy they are to use. So we're going to start with a piece of Bermuda Bay measuring 5.5 by 8.5. We're going to fold that in half and use our bone folder to make a nice crisp fold. Then we're going to take a piece that measures 6 by 4.5. I'm sorry, that is not the correct measurement. It is 6 by 4.25. And we're going to take our scoring tool. And you can use your scoring tool that's on your paper cutter as well. And we're going to score it at 2 and 4. But don't fold it. Just keep it scored but not folded for the moment. Okay, then we're going to use the square framelit. I have my magnetic platform and we're going to use this right here. I try to have the outline be approximately the same measurement, and you're going to leave a little extra at the bottom for your sentiment. So I'm going to put my cutting plate on top of that. I'm going to run it through my Big Shot and I'll be right back. Alright, now when you pop this out, you're actually going to save this piece. We're going to use it on the card later. And next we're going to take our white piece of scrap paper and our black piece of scrap paper and one more piece. And this is a banner from one of the new framelets called, there it is, Bunch of Banners. Okay, so, and you do get a bunch. I'll just show you these real quick. So, I think you can see them on here. Okay, so you get 5 banners, including the one that we're going to be using on our project today. And it also matches a stamp set, a couple of stamp sets in our new holiday catalog. Okay, so I got that all ready. Just need the top cutting pad. I'll run that through my Big Shot. I'll be right back. One of the things I should have mentioned is you can stamp the sentiment inside your banner frame before you run it through the Big Shot, and that way it's a lot easier to center the sentiment. I just didn't think about it. Sometimes I forget to do things, especially when I'm videoing. Of course, that would be the way it is. So you put these up here, and you can actually save these little frames too to use on other projects. Okay. So now we're going to take the piece that we have pre-scored. You're going to just make fold one of the score lines so that you can see where it is, because you're going to be stamping on these two and you don't want to go over this edge. So as I said, I'm using this flower stamp stamp from the Helping Me Grow stamp set, and that is in our 2016-2017, is that right? No, 2015-2016, sorry, idea book and catalog. Put this under here, give it a nice surface to stamp on. I'm actually going to put a piece of scrap paper under there as well so that I don't stamp on my mat. Okay, and I'm going to put this at an angle. I'm trying to leave some space down here for people to write their name or a message, whatever they'd like to write. So I'm putting it sort of at an angle, as you can see. All right. Then I'm going to bring in my Pear Pizzazz marker, color all the stems. Actually, I'm going to use the other point. As you probably know, our markers have 2 points. One is a right tip and one is a more like a paint tip, which is the one I'm using. Okay, then I'm going to bring in my Daffodil Delight, do the insides of the flowers with the marker. Then I'm going to use the Bermuda Bay ink pad. I'm just going to push the top and bottom together with the heel of my hand so that I get a nice pool of ink. And then I'm going to take a blender pen and I'm going to color. I love it when I teach classes and we do a coloring segment in our project. Everybody gets really quiet. It's just one of those very meditative, is that a word, processes, and I just love that, just to see it. I mean, it's like every time, it never fails. Everybody gets really, really quiet. Now you can see that I'm adding some of the darker ink to the inside of the flower and then coming out to the edges with the lighter color. Obviously, as you start to apply the ink, it's going to be darker, and as it starts to color, it's going to get lighter and lighter. You can also make it lighter by, in this pool here, it's going to be real dark, but if you bring it out into the edges here, it's not going to be as dark. You can always control it that way as well. You can sort of color off on a piece of scrap paper if you needed to do that. You can also leave white space, which very talented watercolorers seem to be able to do with no problem, and it actually looks better. I've never quite mastered the technique of doing that. Mine always just doesn't look right, and I end up going back and filling in all the white space with like a light color. But someday I'll just keep practicing, and one of these days I'll figure it out, I'm sure. But for right now, this is just the way that I color. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. And to clean your blender pen off, you're just going to take it on a piece of scrap paper until it colors clear, and then you know that it's clean and ready to use for the next time. Okay, now I'm going to take my banner, and I'm going to use the black ink. So with this, I'm using the black Memento ink, and I think I will use the Sentiment Thanks. And with the photopolymer stamps, you can usually see pretty good, so hopefully I'll get that in the center. Not too bad. I'm noticing I didn't use the matte underneath, and I'm noticing that A is very light. I'm going to actually do that one more time. Let's see. Will that be the right way? Yeah. Let's try that once more. Better. Okay. I'll set that aside for now. So I'm going to use the little corner stamp and stamp that in two opposite corners. Okay. Then I'm going to come back in with this stamp, and I'm going to just ink up the smaller flowers. Now, if you're worried about getting ink on the bigger flower here, just put a post-it note or something over the top of it. Okay. And then I'm going to bring that down right in the center. Of the other two, of the little side pieces. Okay. I'm going to bring in my blender pen again, and I'm going to color it first, like I did before with my Pear Pizzazz. And then with my Bermuda Bay and a blender pen. Actually move this out of the way now so you can maybe see that a little bit better. and then my Daffodil Delight marker for the center of the flower. Okay, then I'm going to bring in my other layers. And attach these together just using a snail, or you can also use fast fuse if you prefer that. I do often use, oh, the fast fuse appears to be out. And I don't have a refill in here with me, so we'll just go ahead and use the snail. But I do notice that the snail, especially in humid weather, can come apart. So I really like using the fuse, because I also sell my cards at a local store, and I definitely don't want them coming apart. Okay, so now we've got all the watercoloring done. We're going to start to assemble the card. I learned a little trick recently, so I'm going to use it on this card. So when you follow directions, there's a lot of them on YouTube for this card. A lot of times what will happen is this will be here, and when you open the card, it just goes like this, and this doesn't pop up. Okay, but I saw someone do a little trick. I'm gonna actually do that now. So what they did was attach just a small strip like this to the back. So fold this in half. It's I don't even know the measurement of this. It's probably like an eighth, maybe a fourth of an inch. Let's see, quarter inch. And I'm just going to put glue on half of it. And I'm going to attach it on this piece. Okay, then you're going to take another piece, just like the first one. You're going to fold that in half, and you're going to do the same thing. And then just attach it to the bottom right there. Okay, now we're going to take this piece. We can go ahead now, if you don't have any other stamping that you want to do on this panel, you can go ahead and fold this on the score line, and you want to score that really well. And you want to score your card really well. Okay, so you're going to open that up. You're going to bring this in, and you're going to attach just this panel, the one to the far right, onto your card. So just put your adhesive, whatever you're wanting, whatever type of adhesive you like to use, there, and then you're going to position it here. Okay. The one thing you do want to make sure is that it's below the cut of the window here, and it's over far enough that it's not showing on this side either. Now you will have a space open here, and that's okay, that's normal. So then what you're going to do is take your insert, you're going to put glue inside this window. You're going to take, oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't add the ribbon, but I will leave the ribbon off of this one, but I'll go back and show you in a minute. Well, actually, I'll show you. Oh, look, I can actually add it. There's plenty of give. I'll just take that off for the second. Now, what I did was I used this pool party glitter ribbon. This was in a previous catalog, so you may or may not have some, but I always like to use up things that I have around. So I just cut, I don't know, probably 2 inches of this, folded it in half, and attached it between the black layer and the Bermuda Bay layer. Okay, and then there. Okay, now we have the ribbon. And the ribbon, like I say, really is just decorative. You don't need it. Then you're going to take this, you're going to line it up on this left side. Make sure it's nice and flush, and then just push it down so that it fits inside that frame on the right, so that everything is flush. Okay. So now, if we didn't add those little strips, this is what your card would do. If you opened it this way, it would work. But most people, when they get a card, aren't going to know to pull the ribbon. They're just going to open it like this, and then see, it does not work. Now, if these little card pieces go over top of your score line there, you want to just trim them off. Then what we're going to do is simply add some glue to those little strips. There we go. Add glue here. And then simply close your card and press down where those 2 strips are. Don't worry if your ribbon gets down in there, you can fix that later. Now, you will need to let that dry before the card will work, but now when you open the card, I'll just kind of try to show you what's going to happen. No, I can't because it's not dry yet, so it's just going to come unglued. But trust me, it'll work like this. When you open it up, those little tabs that are right here are going to keep that together, and there's going to make it open up like that. Okay, so let's do the banner, which I've lost. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I want to sponge. I love sponging. I think it gives another added dimension to everything. And I'm just going to go along the edge of my banner with the Bermuda Bay. Do a little bit more on the top. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Put some in that corner. Yeah, that's good. And then I'm going to take a strip from the edges of my dimensionals. I always save those because they come in handy for things like this. That piece ought to do well. I'm just going to take that, put it on the back. That off and add my greeting. Okay, now if you want, you can add some pearls or jewels. I actually had a few of these left over from our Occasions catalog. They're called It's My Party Enamel Dots. And so they're actually Pool Party. They're not Bermuda Bay, but I thought that they were pretty, oops, we'll use these. They were close enough to the color. I thought they coordinated pretty well, so I wanted to use them up. And so I decided to use them on this card. Okay, so there is the finished card. Let me see if I can get this ribbon to come out. Go. Let me see if that's dry yet. There we go. All right, so just when you, like I say, when you open it, you need to make sure that this is dry so that it'll stay together and it'll actually pull this piece out. And you can also add some sentiments on the inside like I did with this one if you wanted. With this one I did friend thanks, but you could do it just the opposite, which I kind of like that idea. I might do that, thanks, and then you could put friend here if you wanted, or you can just leave it blank. So I hope you've enjoyed that pop-up window card tutorial, and I hope that you will give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so that anytime I make a video you'll be informed through your email. And I would love to have you stop by my blog. The address is www.o2bstampin.com, and check it out. There's also a place you can sign up for my newsletter. I'll keep you abreast of the specials and promotions and tips and samples, and hopefully I'll get to know you a little bit and you can get to know me. So thank you for stopping by. I hope to see you again soon.